Let's talk about, but we'll get into some sex stuff here. But let's talk about injuries because we had a fun short chat out front because you and I have some well documented injuries.
True.
And I know
yes.
you definitely do.
And I had the privilege of seeing yours without knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
Because I did 2 bears, 1 cave, but there was only 1 bear in that cave. So
the big bear.
Yeah. And we were talking about yes. We were talking about my I broke my femur last March.
I mean, just for people that breaking a femur is considered the most serious of all the limbs you can break. That is a big time break. Man.
It was a compound one too. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I didn't realize that later when there was blood dripping on the ramp.
God
damn. Like, did I scrape my hip? What is that? And they're like, no, that's where your bone was sticking out until you grabbed your leg and put it in the right spot. Because I did that instinctually. I just grabbed it from behind me and put it back where it was.
And this happened, like, for those of us, like, don't know exactly. Are you airborne and then landing on this?
I was doing a move. It's called a McTwist, which is like a 1.5 somersault. And I didn't have enough speed going into it. And in my younger days, that was never a problem. So I was stuck in that mode. And, and when I was coming in, I knew that the landing wasn't ideal, but I was still going to fix it. And then at some point, it was unfixable, and my leg just snapped, and it was dragging behind me. When I was coming down, he was there. One of my kids was there with a few of his friends. They came down like, hey, let's go watch Tony skate the ramp. And so they were a bit traumatized too.
Haven't you won contests with broken limbs? I feel like I've heard something.
No.
Okay, never mind.
No.
But how many, so where does this rank? I mean, this obviously is a horrific injury.
You have
a bunch of injuries in
I
your
broke
career.
my pelvis about 15 years ago, which I thought was the worst. This one was, what I came to find out, much worse in terms of recovery. But I wasn't really accepting that it was going to be much worse in a recovery, so I got to skating right away.
Right away?
Yeah.
It was stupid, dude. He would fall off, and then when he would get up, he could barely get up.
Well, I should have known something was wrong when I would limp to the ramp to go skate.
Yeah.
This is with your newly reconstructed femur?
So probably about six.
Yeah, because the doctor told him that it was stronger now because he'd bolted it all in with metal, and this guy's like, I'm doing this demo. He's talking about doing a demo in, was it 2 months?
It was 2 months, yeah.
No.
And I'm like, dude,
No,
I just watched your leg like fly the opposite way, then you straightened it, but it was still, like when his shorts got pulled up, it was... But I was cherry picking the info that I was getting.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, the bone's healed in 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, I'm good. 8 weeks. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so I got into skating right away. And there was I do remember the actual moment where I stepped off my board and I felt the bone move out of place.
Fuck.
It was still there, but it was like, instead of being like this, it was kind of shifted to the side.
But then he kept skating.
And then I kept skating, and all that impact eventually made it separate and keep separating. So through the 6 months, 8 months after my actual injury, my bone was further away from itself than it was like the day after surgery. And I knew something was wrong because I was in pain. Just like I'd walk through an airport, I needed to take a painkiller. You know, I just knew something was off, literally off. And I went and got x-rays, and they're like, yeah, that's a non-union fracture. What does that mean? It goes, it's not coming back. So I found another surgeon that specializes in non-unions, and he realigned it.
And now it's much better.
It's night and day.
Before he got it fixed, he did a trick called a backside boneless, where you fly into the air and you put 1 foot on the coping and you stand on that 1 foot, and then you jump back in and land on both feet on the board. On the broken leg that isn't attached, that's the leg that's standing on the coping, and he did that. And if you're good, that's still a difficult trick to do. But when your leg is not attached to your leg and you do it for like an hour until you make it, it made me look at, because he's never acts tough. You know, like I am like, whoa, like when I skate, I'll slam and I'll be like, fucking, that didn't even hurt. Like I'm just blowing smoke up my own ass to try and seem scary.
Yeah.
He is at the ramp doing this trick with his leg not attached, and I'm just like, I see the video and I'm like, you're a fucking maniac. Do you know that? Like, your level of tough now is like, if this will never happen, but if we got angry at each other and he was like, fuck you, dude, I'm knocking you out, I would be seriously worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
He's
what
not
is
very
up?
macho. Yeah, he's not.
Well, it's funny because
Well, I
like
can
he's a
take a
killer.
hit. I don't know
No
if I can
bravado.
deliver a hit.
Yeah.
most people, obviously, most people don't have your, background and career in this, but a lot of people that would have an injury like skiing or something, right? Like, and they break their femur, or even
Right.
a much more common injury and less severe, like an ACL. They just go, "I'm never skiing again."
Yeah, done.
But to you, obviously, that never was a thought in your head.
Never. No.
But you know that.
But we're,
You guys
but we're
are-
used to doctors saying you'll only only ever get 80% back, and just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Ooh, mommy, did you enjoy that highlight? Why don't you have more fun? Click around. Click here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Look. Try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You're not going to miss a moment of denim, okay? Try it out. Be her.